The identity that I left behind this year was that of coach, mentor, and strategist. And the identity that I chose to step into is visionary, founder, and CEO. And that identity shift has created a quantum leap unlike any other. My boundaries have never been stronger, my standards have never been higher, and I want to talk with you about identity shift and how important it is if you truly want a quantum leap, if you truly want to make something different happen over the next 12 months. You know how people will tell you something over and over and over again, and intellectually you get it. You know, I've always heard that old saying, what got you here won't get you there. And I kind of knew that. Like, I think we all know that, right? But I don't think I truly understood the depth of what was required when it came to the identity shift that I needed to take. So let's talk about, I guess, my journey. I'm best sharing my own experiences with you, and then hopefully that will inspire you to take something from it. And I'm sure some sort of exercise will come to me as we go along. These are always completely unscripted. I just come on and share what's on my heart and hope that it's going to be of value to somebody. Well, I know it will be of value to somebody. So, if you have watched any of my previous videos, one of the things that you would have heard me talk about was my word of the year. And I had chosen the word undaunted. And I chose that word because there's a lot of big projects that I have underway right now, a lot of big launches that are coming up. And I knew that, there's a chance, right, that the shit will hit the fan at some point and I'm going to need to be able to handle things. And you know what? I realized undaunted is not the word because I already feel undaunted. And undaunted was my old identity, right? My old identity was bracing for the struggle or bracing for something to happen or bracing for just bracing for something, right? And I have never had such an easier time in my business in the last 6 months. Everything's flown beautifully. The right people have arrived in my life as team members. I feel very supported. They're very plugged into my vision and excited about what I'm bringing into the world. And so I feel like undaunted was old me, and I'm so glad that I caught myself. And the reason that I share that with you is old identity stuff can keep us trapped, and it's really sneaky. Sometimes we can't even see when we're still operating from that old place. And I honestly think I've done a really good job over these last few months in stepping into this new identity and living into it every single day. And it actually kind of surprised me when I looked up at my whiteboard and saw that word there. And it's like, why have I got that word up there? And I really had to look at myself and realize, oh, yeah, I understand where that's coming from. And so that's not the word. And but what is the word? So I don't know. I'm still playing around with that. So the identity that I had of coach and strategist and mentor has been the role that I have been in for many, many, many years. Part of that identity has been I like to go solo. I like to do things myself. I like to keep things simple. I like, all of those things that I credit to the level of success that I was able to create. And many people would be very, very happy with the level of success that I'd created. And that was great. And I had hired teams over the years and really felt like I was encumbered by them. It didn't feel like freedom. It didn't feel like it was taking the stress away from me. It just, I had to change. I was micromanaging. I was sticking my nose into other people's businesses when I should have just let them do the thing that I had hired them to do. And so I wasn't ready for what I'm ready for now. I have a world-class team. They are magical. I feel so incredibly supported. And I couldn't have got here from that old identity. She wasn't ready for it. She wasn't in a place of allowing herself to receive support and trust the people that she had hired to support her. This woman here, sitting right here, she has a high amount of trust for the people that she's hired. She feels incredibly supported. And she's also, okay, I'll stop talking about myself in the third person. I'm also delegating more and more and more and realizing just how much I had on my plate that I didn't need to. And it was keeping me trapped. It was keeping me trapped playing in a smaller space. And I saw a vision for where I wanted to take things a few months ago. And I had the realization that this business, this identity that you have right now won't cut it for that vision. Like you are going to have to really step into and embody the woman who is able to pull this off. And pretty much from that day, I have been plugging into and embodying that person. So in my mind, and every day in my journal, it's like I make decisions from this place. I move and make moves from this place. And it didn't take very long to train my brain to start to think like that person. I don't even have to ask myself, well, how would this version of me handle this situation? I don't even need to do that anymore. It's so dialed in. This is who I am now. Even little things like one of the things that I was doing was leaving my WhatsApp open too late and it was draining me. And so now I close my WhatsApp at 2 p.m. and my team are all in WhatsApp. And I let them know that I'm closing at 2 p.m. And there have been times when, for example, my marketing person that's where I'm onboarding her at the moment, and her messages are coming in later, and I have turned the notifications off. But if I've just happened to leave it open, it's like, no, I'm not answering that. I will do that in the morning. And so everybody's pretty clear that my hours end at 2 p.m. my time, although this particular person didn't know that. So I had to let her know. But I know that she's working and we've got a, pretty loose deadline, I guess. But I know that she's working when I'm sleeping and I wake up and all the rest of it. And then I know she's going to work later in the day and there will be messages for me. And I don't care. I'm not going to open them until it's in the morning. Old me, everything had to be fast. Everything had to be done quickly. There was always a hurry. Everything was a fucking emergency. I just don't feel like that way anymore. For months and months and months, my team knows that I have a no emergency policy. There is no urgency. We do things fully, we do things properly, we do them right. And there is no hurry. Like there's deadlines, but we want to make sure things are done right and we're not going to rush anything. My nervous system feels so incredibly different because I'm not in that hustle mode, that push, push, grind, everything's a hurry. I just don't operate like that anymore. That was my old identity. This new identity does not do that. She's chill. She's so chill. Even when massive things are about to happen and, there are many details and things to tick off on with my team, I'm chill. And I really love this way of operating. I feel like this is who I truly came here to be. And I know I'm only getting started. Years ago, I remember writing down on a piece of paper, it was like this me and this me. And it was like the goal version, having achieved my goal version me, and like me when I'm not making progress. And I wrote down this list. And even it was things around, you know, I wake up very early in the morning, but sometimes I'll sit with my laptop for a couple of hours. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I know that there comes a point where that tends to stretch out a little bit more. And then I feel like I'm behind and then I'm rushing. And it's like, that's old version of me. New version of me does it very, very differently. And so I had these two lists, old me, new me. This person achieves this result. This person is going to achieve this result. And it was such a useful tool. I still bring it out occasionally. I've photocopied it, so I've got it in a few different places, but I'll read it occasionally. And it's like, oh, yeah, I know when I'm operating like this, I'm not moving. I know when I'm operating like this, I'm creating quantum leaps all of the time. And so I guess that's the exercise that I want to leave you with today. What is whatever that version of you is? For me, it's eight-figure founder and CEO. That is the goal. I will be at eight figures with two new startups in 18 months. That is the target. And so there's a version of me that will achieve that. And then there's a version of me who won't. And that would be somebody that was doubting. That was somebody who would be saying to myself, you're full of shit, like that's impossible or whatever, right? So that person doesn't have any place in where I'm going. And if I want to achieve that target, then for me, I have to behave in a certain way. I have to have certain beliefs. I have to just operate completely differently, excuse me. And so that's going to be that's going to be the plan. So what I would recommend that you do is get that piece of paper on the right hand side. I want you to write, no, on the left hand side, I want you to write all of the current habits and thoughts and beliefs and things like that that are going on right now. And then I want you to think about, okay, so this is current me. Are you where you want to be? If the answer is no, have a look at current you. What are you doing? What are the things that you do that, you just know that, or, it doesn't feel good for me to do this. I know I could be using my time better or whatever, right? It could be a habit that you've got that you want to get rid of, whatever. And then I want you to look at, so for me, it's like eight-figure founder version. Like, what is your version? And then how is that person behaving? How are they? Usually it's the opposite of all of the things that you wrote, right? Especially if, you've been coasting for a little while, like I've been coasting for a little while. So do that exercise, and that's going to become the blueprint for how you embody and step into that new identity that's going to carry you very, very far. I just want to share something as well. Every year I do this book. It's called The Creative Visualization Workbook. Use the power of your imagination to create what you want in your life. And it's Shakti Gawain. I love this book, and I want to show you something funny. This is 10 years worth. So this is my like 10th or 11th year going into this process. And if I were to look at all of these ones for the last 10 or so years, the goals were very similar. And there are so many things that were just a similar version of the same goal and vision, right? This is a whole other ball game. I haven't filled it out yet. I'm going to do it on the weekend. I like to take the entire weekend just to really dig in. So I love that book. If you can get your hands on that, there is a book called Creative Visualization by the same name. This is the workbook. I have the book, just kind of breeze through it. I've got the workbook. That's what I work from. And it's just a process that helps me to lock in my vision. And it sits on my desk so that I can open it up and have a look. And I'll tell you something else really interesting. If you were to look through these books, every single one of them is done in pencil because I haven't wanted to commit to anything. This one is being done in pen. So I've never felt more grounded. I've never felt more clear. I've never felt more aligned than I do right now. And that's because of the work that I did. And that's because I'm operating from this identity. I haven't just changed the goal. I haven't just changed the way I want to behave. I've truly changed at that identity level. And that's what's been missing for me for a few years. And that's because I've been resisting it. I haven't wanted to leave certain things behind, but it was time. And so as you step into this new identity, there are going to be things that you don't want to participate in anymore. There are going to be environments you don't want to be around anymore. There are going to be decisions that have to be made that might put you in a place of feeling a little bit lonely. And for me, it's definitely felt a little lonely along the way because I'm leaving a lot of things behind. And the conversations that I was having before were, amazing. And there are many people in my life that absolutely have seen me evolve over and over the years and will remain in my life. But there are just some things that I'm stepping away from. And that can be really challenging, right? Because we love to fit in. We love our communities. We love the way that we do. We love familiarity. Familiarity is the thing that we love. And we have to break those habits if we want to move in a different direction and create bigger things for ourselves. And at the end of the day, what it comes down to is you have to honor yourself. You have to honor the vision that you hold that is true, even if it's scary, even if it's really, really big, even if you don't know how you're going to achieve it. Make the decision, be clear on who you need to be, and start living into being that person today. You don't need to wait. You do not need to wait. The circumstances around you may not shift straight away, but that's not the reason to not do it. The sooner you start this, the faster your environment and your circumstances will catch up with you. I promise you, it's just how it works. All right, that's it, my loves. I will see you next week. Bye for now.